Hi friends, in this video, let's look at the benefit of AWS Global Infrastructure Cloud Computing. AWS has made it amazingly simple and easy to deploy resources in the cloud. However, all these resources that we create in the cloud need to be backed up by a physical infrastructure located somewhere. Let's look at the infrastructure that AWS has. Here is a map of global infrastructure. Each circle denotes a region. There are several regions in North America, one in Brazil, few in Europe, Asia, and so on. By design, each region is completely isolated from other regions. You can deploy an application in any of these regions. These regions are generally referred as public regions. AWS also have a government cloud that is meant for US government. In addition, there is also a China region that is restricted to China-based business. AWS is constantly expanding the footprint and they are using different colors for upcoming regions, means color codes. The number that you see inside the circle is the availability zone, and availability zone is like a data center. Usually, a region has 3 or more availability zones. Each availability zone has independent power network and are also physically separated by a meaningful distance, and they are usually located within 60 miles of each other or approximately 100 kilometers of each other. The availability zones themselves are interconnected via redundant ultra low latency networks for high availability. You need to design your application to run in multiple availability zones. So, even if there is an availability zone failure, your application can continue to function. As a best practice, you need to deploy your application and infrastructure across multiple availability zones. When building an application that depends on other AWS service, you also need to check how a specific AWS service handles availability zone failures. For example, S3. S3 is a storage service. When you store an object in S3, it maintains redundant copies of your data across at least 3 availability zones. Now, this is true even for the region that have only 2 public availability zones, as AWS has their own private availability zones. So, your data in S3 is accessible even when an availability zone goes down. With a relational database service, so you can deploy your database in a high availability configuration. The primary and the standby systems are maintained in separate availability zones. On the other hand, when you spin up a virtual server, which is referred to as easy to instance, they run in specific availability zone. Here there is a difference, right? So the server will be available in the availability zone and goes down, and this is the reason why you need to have multiple servers running in different availability zones. Each region has a unique AWS code. For example, Orion region is referred to as US West 2, and the availability zone are named after the region with a suffix. For example, US West 2A, then 2B and 2Z. In addition to the regions and availability zone, AWS also have a global network of edge location. The edge locations are used for caching your content, and they are commonly referred to as content distribution networks. To give an example, when watching a video on Amazon Prime or Netflix, if every request goes to a central server, the solution will obviously not scale. Instead, what they do is distribute the content across the edge location that are close to the customer's edge location. For example, my request will go to the Canada, and somebody watching from the India or from the other regions, that will go to their nearest location, nearest edge locations. Okay, you can launch resources anywhere in the world. As a best practice, you should always distribute your application across multiple available zones in a region. Friends, this is the conclusion of this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Give me feedback through your likes and comments. Thank you.